The people who are supposed to do the job don't do it. And nobody calls them to account.
And that's why this app has come up.
But the app is going to fail if they continue on this trajectory.
Congratulations to Nigerians on the new Citizens Delivery Tracker app. Well, maybe not so new. Welcome to Techpression Special. I am Ibukum Bankole. Today we discuss Nigeria's Citizens Delivery Tracker app. The question is, are Nigerians even aware of this app? Do they know how to use the app? And most importantly, would it really ensure accountability? To discuss this conversation with me is barrister Bethel-Chimzie Okwu. He's a lawyer, a politician, and a businessman. Thank you very much for being my guest today.
Thank you.
So now, Nigeria Citizens Delivery Tracker app. What do you think about it?
Well, Citizens Tracker app, they need to redefine that name that they gave to it. Citizens Tracker, what are they tracking? Let us assume what they are tracking is projects of the federal government that is to benefit the people. Now, what are the projects that the people are supposed to be tracking? They need to know the project before they track it. So what's the plan to educate them on the projects they are expected to track? I've not seen anything like that. I think I've seen the website. I don't think this idea was thought through properly before it was launched.
It wasn't thought through properly. Okay, so now I've also seen the app, and it's a web app, because I know some people have we've asked some people around, and they're like, well, they can't find it on iOS or Android. It's because you have to go online to the website to find the app, and then you can actually access it. But now you say that they didn't think it through, right? Now, what exactly did you see about the app that maybe probably went right or is ideal, but then they need to improve on in terms of what you saw? Because I have, of course, I would have my own 2 cents to say about it, but I'd like to hear from you as regards that.
I just saw the site I saw has several things talking about economy, talking about agriculture, infrastructure. It's talking about different things. So is the app saying it is a platform to show to the people what the government is doing in these several aspects of the country's economy and otherwise? If that is the idea, all right, then that's one part. Next part, who are your target audience? Who are the people you're expecting to come and look at the site? Are they even aware that that site is existing? Even if they are, the site is even giving issues logging into it. So I don't even really understand what, at the level of federal government, things like this should not be done in a manner that would suggest that somebody just hurriedly went to do something just to maybe cash in on something that he just saw or heard about, and he's just trying to make money out of it. Because to me, it's not well thought through.
Okay, so speaking of still not well thought through, now you've raised a question which, I mean, has been on my mind. I was going to raise to you too, in terms of awareness. You said something about who is their target audience. Is the target audience even aware of what they're doing? Now, first, of course, we know the target audience is every Nigerian that's out there. So what exactly do you think could have been done better? Because if you say, one, it's not properly thought through before it's done, and then you raise questions as regards who exactly is the target audience. Are they even aware about it? And pretty much we have done some survey around and found out that people don't even know much about the app. People are not even aware. This is probably the first time. They didn't even know it existed in 2022. Talk more of it, having a relaunch right now. So what do you think the government could have done or should have done to better prepare as regards this app that is meant for citizens, to ensure accountability of their representatives in government?
First, okay, there was one time they launched e-Naira or something like that. It was in the news. Even though it has died off, nobody virtually hears about it anymore. This one didn't even come up at all. Like, I didn't hear of it until I was invited here. And then I had to go look up on the whole thing, and then saw that somewhere around April 8th, a relaunch was done. So that, let me call that an upgrade. Now, my guts tell me something. And what does it tell me? On the 5th of March of 2024, being this year, my team and I had sat on the table and did a letter to the president on the basis of a program that we are running nationwide, all lawyers inclusive. So we wrote a letter to the president and we're asking him for certain things, basically just to ensure that all National Assembly members who have projects in the budget ensure that all those projects are executed in their various constituencies and senatorial districts. Now, it was made clear in that letter to the president that we're going to be funding the process through and through. I have done that as a leader of the group in my own River State already. Now, my God tells me that the letter has gone. Of course, it was received in the State House on the 5th of March. So somebody in the ranks have seen it, saw what it promises to do for the betterment of Nigerians, and decided to hijack the idea. But of course, I used to say there is a thought pattern that leads you to a eureka moment. If you take the idea from the man who got the eureka moment, you cannot weather the storms that idea is expected to birth. You can't weather it. You were not the one thinking about the problem and looking for the solution before the eureka moment came. You just follow through with what you have seen. That okay, this is an idea, this is how we'll do it. There are storms that will come. You can't weather it because you're not the originator of the idea, so you can't follow it through. That's what I'm seeing playing out like this, because there's no other way. The app has been existing since 2022. I've looked it up. They had no plan until they saw a letter in the directory, and then they decided to. They would have done something better. If they say they want to do this, then they should have approached us. They should have at least reached out to us to ask us, of course, how do you plan to do this? How was this? How is this? How is that? Based on what you have done in River State in your own constituency, how are you people going about it? They should have asked. Of course, we would have told them, because the interest is just to make sure projects are done in the whole country. Let everybody feel the impact of the federal government in a Tinubu-led administration. That's the idea behind why we came up with this in the first place. So our interests aligns.
Okay, so it's great that you already had an idea as regards that, because we had discussed something around it earlier. And so now that you are saying interests align, I don't know if you'd be willing to share some of, because we've already asked you earlier what you think could have been done better, and you've already raised some things. And you say interests align in terms of the idea you had already pushed forward with your team and with what the Citizens Delivery Tracker app is already displaying. Would you like to share some of those thoughts that need to be harmonized?
Okay, so one, how it was carried out in River State is this. The projects that the people are expected to see the federal government do for their constituency was made available to them. Flyers and posters were made, above 10,000, pasted across the constituency, and what do you call them? The flyers during the days when we went for sensitization was handed over to people. So they have it in their houses. So they know the projects that they are looking for, right? That's stage one. Stage two, you have now made them aware. Stage two, we went to the federal ministries and agencies where those projects were domiciled to let them know, right, okay, this is what we're doing. We have made our people know about the projects that they are expecting to get from the federal government. Now, your ministry or your agency is saddled with responsibility of making sure those projects are executed. So we are here as a watchdog ensuring that you do your job, because we have informed them first. Now we're here to you, so you do your job. And then after that, we follow through with the process and ensure the job is done. So when you now bring an app that is just something that is online, how do you even go to the rural areas to even let them know? They don't even have light. National grid is breaking down every day. How are they able to even buy data to start accessing your website to even know that there is a project or there is something to expect? Except maybe they have no intention of actually making this a reality. They just want to do something that they will be making money from. Otherwise, there's no grand plan. I didn't even know about the app. If I didn't know about the app, me that is educated doesn't know about the app. How do you expect people in the villages to even know about that such an app is existing? And then that is supposed to be your target audience.
I mean, but it was in the national dailies across, I mean, and they spoke about it on that,
Okay.
on April 8th. I mean, we saw it across the newspapers, I mean, in the news, on TV, it was there.
I didn't see
And,
it.
but okay, well, I understand. So in that regard, based off of what you're saying, it's evident that awareness is not enough. I mean, just discussing or, having a press conference or getting media to come and cover a relaunch is not enough to, I mean, get people at the grassroots or even the elites to know fully well what the citizens delivery tracker app is supposed to do.
They are not really doing well.
Then,
Being the federal government, right? There should be. I believe there is a budget allocated for this, the running of this website prior to this time, before this relaunch, based on what I feel is like an attempt to hijack our idea. But we are not even bothered whether they want to even hijack. Nobody's interested in making profit out of it. We just want the people to see that the government is working in Nigeria. That's all. So if they had taken the right steps, of course, we spent our personal funds in millions going to print these posters, conducting sensitization programs in 27 wards as a model for other constituencies in the 360 constituencies in Nigeria. We did the first test with one. We financed it fully. We are private individuals, and we are saying to the federal government, we are ready to do this across the country for free. We are not requesting for any money. We just want the president to just give a certain assurance to people of their security, because there are some people in some parts of Nigeria where there is no security. So they are careful, because of course, this is politics, of course. People sabotage government's effort and keep the monies in their pockets. So they are seeing now that you are ready to come after them and force them to do what they're supposed to do. Because the federal government is getting a bad name. People keep saying, Nigeria is failing, the government is not doing anything, which is a popular knowledge. Why is that? The people who are supposed to do the job don't do it, and nobody calls them to account.
and that's why this app has come up.
But the app is going to fail if they continue on this trajectory.
So speaking of continuing on this trajectory, now based off of the model that you created, so now we can see there is need for it's not just even grassroots, there's need for more awareness, like we said earlier, sensitization across, beyond just maybe flyers, I mean, even online, virtually, and across as many platforms as possible. But now we know the world is a global village. Technology is what is enabling the whole world right now. And I know that you have pretty much shown the lapses of this app. But do you think really, whether or not it was launched in 2022 and it's just gaining ground now, what do you think it's a step in the right direction?
Yes, it is a step in the right direction if the intentions are pure, and not just an avenue to make money. But it's a step in the right direction, nonetheless, I'll say. Because if this succeeds to make 360 members of the House of Representatives, I'm not even talking about the senators, if this succeeds in making everybody do their job, come on, people are going to live a better life across the country. Because zonal intervention projects for 2024 alone for House of Representatives is 100 billion.
So we have to make sure they're accountable.
Yeah. We're not talking of capital projects. We're talking about only ZIP, zonal intervention projects alone. 100 billion. So if this goes across 360 constituencies in the country and whatever it is that was put in the budget is done, before we now start waiting for capital projects to now come to support that, come on. A lot can be achieved.
A lot can be achieved. But like you have said, I mean, can people at the grassroots even access the internet? Because as of 2022, there was a report that about 61% of rural dwellers do not even have access to the internet. And that is already a disservice to even the people who are really the ones at the grassroots who are suffering these things, the ones that are close to the local government chairman, the ones that are close to in their House of Representatives, the people that are supposed to speak up and say, oh, our roads are bad, oh, we need better infrastructure at the grassroots levels. So, I mean, it's really sad that people who are supposed to access these apps, 61% of the rural dwellers in across Nigeria, well, as at 2022, could not even access that. But I'm hoping that at least this is 2024, maybe the numbers would have increased with particularly the fact that we see a fintech boom where a lot of unbanked Nigerians are already getting access to funds and all. But I'm just really hopeful that the government will have a rethink to look at this app. And this is why we looked at the app at some point together and saw that there's a process you have to go through to even get to the point where you want to even rate any government official. Now, I have my thoughts, but I would like to know what you think as regards that process we had to go to before I said, oh, okay, so this is, I've seen where we're supposed to rate, or you have to click before you get to where you're rating.
See, when you create an app for a certain class of people, you will study the character of the people you are creating the app for first. What is their patience level? To even give the time or the thought. I'm not even talking about the fact that they are not even aware of its existence. Now they have finally become aware, and you want this thing to work. You have the duty to make it a seamless process, to make it easy for them. It's a website. Coding was done before such websites were created. It's not hard for them, those of them in the tech world, to understand that there are several links that can be created that will, once clicked, it takes you directly to what you want to see, even in the full mainframe of that website. So these are not things that should be hard for them, especially the fact that it's federal government that is funding it. So why is it? This is so simple. Even I can fund such a thing and create it. So how come this? How are we having this kind of thing? You are not. If people are not aware, you are even creating a process that is tedious. Do they even have time to go and be checking and checking and checking? First of all, they don't even know the project they are going to check. I don't know. I just, maybe they will do some improvements. Maybe we'll suggest it to them and see how that goes.
Yeah, speaking of suggestions, now this is my final question to you today. What are your suggestions? We've seen a whole lot. You've said a lot. You've already even given some suggestions previously. What's your final advice for now to the federal government on how to go about this, how to improve this citizens delivery app? What's your advice to them on what next to do, considering the fact that it's already relaunched, whether we like it or not?
They should just activate the National Orientation Agency. National Orientation Agency was created by President Olusegun Obasanjo while he was president. The idea was to use that agency to transmit information to every part of Nigeria at the same moment. So they have outfits in all the, 774 local governments in Nigeria. They have outfits everywhere. So whatever information that they intend to pass can quickly get to those rural areas through those outposts of the National Orientation Agency. If they intend to actually make this work, actually want the people to know that such a thing is existing, that's what they need to do. use that National Humanitarian Agency. Of course, they have budget already 2024. They are just there, perhaps even taking salaries and not really doing anything. So activate them. Let them take this course to the grassroots. Let the people know that an app like this is existing first. And then, having taught them that, tell them the projects that they are supposed to be expecting to see, right? Which is the same thing that we are offering the federal government to do for them for free. So if they choose to boycott our own method and use their own, it's the same thing, it's the same end result we are looking for. That the country works under Tinubu's administration. Fine and good for us. They should go ahead. Inform the people, let them know the projects they're expecting, let them know how to confirm whether the projects have been done or not done, and create a feedback channel with these people to know whether projects are actually being carried out in those areas or not. Basically that. We just want a Nigeria that works. That's what we are after.
A Nigeria that works. And then the good thing is that it is stated that feedback is within 24 hours. So we hope that that is obtainable, not just, on paper as well. And thank you very much, Sir Barrister Bethel-Chimzie Okwu, for being my guest today. And thank you for the advice you've shared and the points you've raised and the direction that you've taken the conversation towards. And I hope that when we call on you again, you would, honor our invitation.
Thank you very much.
All right. And that's all on Techpression Special. My name is Ibu Kumbankole. Join us again for another interesting conversation.